Hey guys, welcome back to Mo's Game Table. Today I'm at Consimworld Dallas. Yes, Dallas, not Tempe. Here with John Kranz, the father of Consimworld Expo in Tempe, Arizona. He's actually doing one here in Allen, Texas, which is close to both of us, and it's pretty fantastic. John, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes.
Thanks so much. Right in our own backyard.
Yeah, I know.
We
How
both
can you beat
live
that?
like I'm 5 minutes from this event site.
Yeah.
So it's great to be here. And yes, first time in Dallas. We've got our 20th anniversary coming up in Tempe in June. So really got a great venue here. Really excited to be here in Dallas doing an event finally after trying for 3 years. So
Well, just think, it'll be the 40th anniversary of Consimworld Tempe when it's the 20th
that's
anniversary
right. Of
here in
course,
Allen.
that's all part of the master plan, right?
Exactly.
No
that's
problem
why
at all.
that's why you buy all those games, because you go into buying all these games with, well, I can't die till I play them all. So that's why you keep buying more games to extend your life.
And a lot of people ask me, they say, are you moving the Tempe event that's held in June to Dallas? And no, it's just a new regional event we spun off. We're actually under contract in Tempe through 2025.
Okay.
So another 4 years. And then we'll see, then we'll see what the market says. And I love the Tempe Mission Palms, but this is a very big venue. We can more room to grow here, obviously. Yeah. But I'm very happy that we're committed to Tempe through 2025. Right
So
now.
the thing is, like you were just saying, this is, obviously we've been through this venue, and it's a really large venue. It's a beautiful venue. If you haven't been here yet, it's like what, 2-3 years old, I think is all.
Yeah, the new brand new hotel property with the growth in Dallas, the business growth. So it's a wonderful location.
If for some reason, I'm not saying this is, don't panic. If for some reason in 5 years after the contract was to run out and you decided, you know what, we're just going to move it here to Dallas, which I'm hoping for, but no, but if you were to move to Dallas, you could definitely fit the Tempe crowd here at this venue, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So everybody's going to sort of decide. It's not going to be my decision. I think what will happen is it's very easy to host a second event each year. So I'm perfectly fine. I have some family in Arizona that will probably still be there. So it's absolutely no problem at all for me to keep doing Tempe and have this Dallas event, so twice a year.
Yeah.
Then I'm also doing the Compass Expo for Compass Games, so that's 3. But it's pretty much self-running. So it's more of what's the market want? Does the market want to have 2 events? Does our demographic change where we need less events? So then I got to consolidate. But I'd be perfectly happy. Just keep going until the fat lady sings, maybe.
Hopefully not for many years.
But people worry sometimes. They say, "Oh gosh, you're going to move it now," and because there's a lot of local gamers in Arizona, much like there's a huge local gaming group here. And yeah, there's obviously no plans till 2025. Everything stays the way it is.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, I would love to see it stay in Tempe. I've never been able to get out there yet because of scheduling, but eventually you want to get out there. It's that beautiful 10-day long convention, kind of like WBC is. So if you are, one of those people that has the entire summer off, you can go in June to Tempe, and then in July you can go to Pittsburgh. So it's like fantastic. Yeah. 20 days of great wargaming. But let's talk about a little bit more about CSW Dallas here. When you created this, what was how long did the entire process take of actually kind of the genesis of the idea and actually being able to sign a place?
Right. So there's 2 answers. So the genesis of the original idea is over 3 years. So and people know this from Arizona. I when I would do my welcome reception, I'd close the welcome reception, always saying, what's the date for next year in Tempe? And then I say, oh, by the way, I want to do something in Dallas, and it's going to be a special theme. So the way the Tempe event started, it was around monstergame.con. That was how we started. We had a sort of a hook, and here the hook was classicwargames.com. So, matter of fact, I'm wearing an SPI to promote classic games. SPIs obviously brings a lot of memories for people. So, but it took 3 years because I couldn't find the right hotel venue. I think for Dallas it's somewhat of a challenge because, for one, I don't like airport hotels. I want to have a hotel where you can walk literally across the street.
Yes.
For a bunch of dining establishments, wives come also with their husbands. If they're not gamers, they'll just come for like a vacation, and I want them to have places they can go shop and socialize. So that's why this venue stands out, because across the street we have an award-winning outdoor mall area, Waters Creek. So it took a long time because there were board game, BGG cons here. There's a lot of great conventions here, and I just wanted to find something that had a venue, walking venue. You can go out, get away, and stop and start too. So sometime I took off, but I finally found this hotel. It's a newer hotel, so went on site. Mark Simonich helped me. do some on-site visits, and some hotels that host weddings, you can't really work with them because they want about $5,000 per day for the space, because that's what you can demand. It's like the old joke, if you're a florist shop and you order regular roses, it's $12, but if it's for a wedding, it's $120.
Exactly.
Factor of 10. Mm-hmm. So it was a process of elimination landed us here that they're affordable because they don't do a lot of weddings here. So so it's a great venue, and I'll be meeting with the hotel in 2 weeks to debrief and look to commit for next year, and we'll just hopefully we'll commit to next year in Dallas, and we'll keep going from there.
And as you can see the background, this is a conference room we're in here. This is the type of room the rooms I should say, that we're gaming in. They're all kind of breakout rooms, so you have a good amount of space with a lot of people to game with, but at the same time not overwhelmed with noise. So that's another great factor that you look for.
Yeah, exactly. So it's different than the Expo Tempe event, where it's a main ballroom is really the focus. 90% of the gamers are in the main ballroom in Tempe, and then we do have some breakout rooms, for example. But here it's a different, we're in what's called sort of the technology corridor of the hotel, where they do like a suite approach. And there's about 6 breakout rooms. So there's the dealer exhibitor sales room. There's a what we call a game demo playtest room. So it's like the escape room concept.
Yeah.
That if you're stuck and you don't have a game to play, things aren't working out. If you go in there, you're not going to get out unless you've played a game. So, and that's good because that gives everybody something to experience tabletop wise. Sure. And then we have a theme for, there's one room dedicated to the classic war games theme, which is, War in the Pacific's being set up right now. There's some other SPI games being played. Some smaller monster games are being played. And then we've got 3 open gaming rooms. We might switch. A nice thing about this property, it's adjoining to a convention center. So the hotel has a major ballroom as well, which we're not using, which is 8,000 square feet. Yeah. So it's 2,000 more than Tempe. So 8,000 square feet is available to us if we can grow the event. And then, I don't think it would ever happen, but they've got over 100,000 square foot of convention space, which I think 8,000 would more than suit us as we hopefully grow the numbers here. I hope the numbers will grow, that the word of mouth will spread. This was a first time event. We only marketed it for 3 months only. So we did a short word, and hopefully next year we'll really be able to grow the numbers.
Well, I got to say, this is you've really done a fantastic job with this convention. It's a beautiful location, not just because it's literally 4 miles from a house, so that's totally awesome. Yeah. But aside from that, it is really a beautiful facility, and John's done a lot of work for this, and really has made an outstanding little convention here, which it's little only in size because it's the first year. It's definitely going to grow. And you Tempe people who have gone to Tempe, come on out here, because I think you're going to really enjoy it. As you were saying, it is, you have walking distance, literally walk across the street, and there's like, I think 8 or 9 restaurants right there. And plenty of places to shop if you need anything, so that's fantastic. Yeah. But let's switch gears a little bit on this convention thing. Now, you said it's 3.5 days. What about extending it out a little bit further, maybe 4.5 days, or 5 days?
That will depend on what people tell me for feedback. So it will definitely be at least like a 3.5 day minimum. The challenge is I don't want to cannibalize Expo Tempe. I don't want people to decide, I'm just going to go to Dallas instead of Tempe, although that's perfectly fine. So make it perfectly. But what I'm really trying to set up is, as we're getting older and maybe some disposable income and more time to travel, I really want to keep Tempe at the 300 plus clip level of attendees. Sure. So I'm hoping, I think that will stay, that we're well on our way. We're almost at 200 signups already for June, so we're in good shape there. But if I extend this, that's a big time commitment question. For some people, can they commit to say 5 to 6, 7 days, and what would the impact be to Tempe? I'm going to let the folks decide. I'm pretty open. I'm pretty flexible with my schedule. I'm fortunate enough now that I'm sort of out of the corporate world now, so I don't have to deal with that. But I have to be considerate of other people's time and time commitments that they can make. So I think 3.5 is good, because you can probably squeeze that in as a new convention for the year if you've got WBC, Board Game Con, just whatever the big conventions are. Hopefully, but I don't know. Yeah. I'll talk to you about it afterwards too. We'll figure it out.
Now we will change hats. Not only from CSW Expo, but Consimworld itself. You've been running that for how many years now?
Since I think the tagline on the site since 1996, so 24 years. And before that, I think the website originally was called the Virtual Wargamer Headquarters. So that was, the beginning days of the internet. And I think what I did was I had publishers that were so excited about the internet, they gave me the product to scan. I would physically scan the components. So so even before 96.
Wow.
I was doing stuff. But yeah, so officially since, I guess that's the first date of the Consimworld Forum, is 1996, so 24 years. Just had our annual fundraiser drive, so great support again as always. I actually took advantage of the donations already, so I've consulted with a firm that does WordPress, which is the web platform for the news desk that we're on, and it was quite slow. And I was even having trouble getting news stories posted. It was so frustrating. So I've got the site optimized. So I think that was a good spend of donation dollars to improve the website. I'm on a 3-month contract with them to get more consulting to help speed up the site more. And it's not really a site, it's one page. It's really a one page you come to and you see the latest. You see the latest news. Right. So, but I'm trying to optimize services. Probably the next big move will be the forum. And a lot of people comment the forum's on its last leg in terms of the look and feel. So there's some platforms which are quite good are extremely expensive and they're cost prohibitive. So an example, if you look up Vanilla Forum, I've looked at all these sites. So Vanilla Forum's online forum service. And that would outstrip the annual donations. I mean, I think to do that right with our traffic, it's at least $50,000 a year.
Wow!
So as far as the cost, because it's hosted on subscription and based on traffic, they charge you. But there's I wish I could remember the name of it now. But there is another platform that's modernized that has a different cost model that we could do. The unfortunate thing is, even with consulting dollars, it doesn't look like there's so much content on the forum. It doesn't look like we could easily migrate, 20 years worth of forum discussions. So we would probably just keep that as read only, and we would then migrate,
archive it, and
and what will happen is this new service we would bring Consimworld forum would migrate over, and then the social. Some people, we have quite a few thousand on social platform, which is social.consimworld.com. That would go away, and this would basically merge onto this new platform. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on the news desk to get it optimized, and then mid part of this year, based on what my budget spend can be, I'm gonna probably start off this new service as a pilot test period. If everybody likes it and they say yes. At some point, please put talk in read-only mode where I can archive and look at 20 years worth of discussions, but let's start moving to this new platform. The only limitation which I don't like about it, which I don't have on the forum today, is I love the Board Game Geek model, where if you're in it, what I would like to have happen is if you're in a discussion, you can link to any images, or how Board Game Geek, everything's linked. It's a relational database. Unfortunately, I'm not finding good forum software that says if I start a topic on whatever game you're interested in, you can easily navigate to photos or different discussion. It doesn't, unfortunately, they don't have,
not as easy as
that's not the approach they take. So of course with Board Game Geek, they've got developers and that's their own platform they've developed. But this would be something better than talk because people say it's old looking and it's single threaded. So that's in the offing.
Maybe you need to talk to Aldi. He lives in Dallas. It might not be a bad idea.
Exactly. Definitely good idea.
Might be able to give some, feedback and help and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, he's done a great, amazing success story. Amazing success story.
But now we're going to switch hats again. Because John,
I should have brought hats.
Should have just kept switching hats.
Switched hats. Yes.
But not only from CSW Expo and Consimworld itself, but Compass. Your role at Compass. Explain that to everyone.
Yeah. So I'm universally grateful to Compass Games, the ownership, Bill Thomas, because coming from the corporate world, I was suffering burnout, and I was like, okay, how can I make a living as a publisher? I've done publishing, and GMT has been very nice to sell the games for me, where I don't have to do back office work. I can just do the game project work. So I was. So what happened was I spoke to Compass a little over 2 years ago, saying I really would like to find a way to make this work, where I can. I was burned out. So I don't know how else to put it. I was just like looking for a change and how to survive to do it. And the way the discussion went quickly was, Bill said, no, we're going to hire you. You're not going to start your own thing. We're going to come up with a plan where you're gonna, we could use your help. We think you could help us. So my focus with Compass has been on the marketing front, like online. So I'm on with the website, which will be getting upgraded. We're going to be on a new platform in about a month or less. So I'm looking forward to those changes, and hopefully they'll be welcome changes for everybody. And then I do, of course, run all the social media. So Facebook, Twitter, forum. And then my other, can I wear another hat?
Yeah.
So I've got 2 Compass hats.
Got too many hats.
I've got 3 Compass hats actually, which is great. I mean, we all work together as a team.
Yeah.
So everybody works together. So we also do the Compass Games Expo in November, and we have a new venue. Right. We are switching venues, so I'll be launching next week. The announcement for Compass Games Expo 2020 and Veterans Day weekend in November. So that will be launching next week. So I also do the Expo event. I help Compass. And then the last thing I do, which people are probably most aware of, is I do game projects. Yeah. Much like I did for Consim Press. Sure. It's just now it parks with Compass. Yeah. So I got a backlog of about 30 titles.
Is that it?
They're not all active at the same time, but we've had some good successes so far. We've done I handled the Designer Signature Edition series. Sure. Like taking the older games and not changing them just for change's sake, but just trying to improve them, enhance them, and support the original designer. So right now we've got, I'll just say what's coming up as give you an idea. So we've got Vance Von Boris, from Vance Von Boris, we got Decision at Castering, which is one of my favorite games, which was in a 3W magazine format. Then it went to a box, and then in Japan they published it as well. So we're doing a deluxe or sort of signature edition of Decision at Castering. After that, we'll get Joe Bukowski's The Korean War out, which is from Victory Games. We're doing that one.
Ones I was going to ask you on.
Yeah, we're doing that one. That one, the counters are done. The maps are done. Right now, it's just basically the rules. There's a lot of charts and tables actually to it, so we're working on that right now, and then it's going to go to the rules, and then we're done. Okay. Box is done already as well. Do you want me to talk about other projects at all? Sure. Okay, so go.
Everybody's here tuned in.
All right, so yeah, and I haven't done a Compass Games video in a while. I try to do them every 2 weeks, but I just haven't had a chance. So I'll start doing videos again. But okay, so projects that are being worked on now. One's moving up very quickly through the pipeline, and that's from Bruce Maxwell. So we're working with Bruce Maxwell right now, actually, on NATO, which was another Victory Games title. This one's completely different, and it was his choosing. He wanted to update the order of battle based on new information that was released from what was the Soviet Union. So he had all this new information, and basically once he saw the new order of battle and TOEs, he said, oh, I've got to change the date and make this later. This doesn't work anymore from a play balance standpoint. And this is the one project we probably have the best group of play testers. We have about 12 plus play testers actively play testing it because it's changed a lot. Same system, but it is enhanced. So he's been working on that, but now we have a game that's going to leapfrog ahead of it, and we don't even have it on pre-order yet. So this is like an exclusive.
Nice,
right?
You're hearing it here first.
This is an exclusive, right? Good segue. So we're going to be coming out with Aaron Armour. Okay. So that was a West End Games title he did, and maps already done. Counter sheets are going off in 2 weeks to the printer, 3 weeks to the printer. All that's left really for him. The charts are done. Everything's done except for the back of the box and the rules booklet. Wow. So that'll probably take about at least a month to do to get it right. So that just leapfrogged up. Are you familiar with Iron Crown Edition's Manassas? There's a game called Manassas. It's Mark Herman's favorite game he's played that is not his own design.
I've heard it, but I've heard him talk about it.
So if you watch Mark Herman, he says his favorite game, not by his own design, is Manassas. I want to say the name of the person's Richard Britton. I hope I got the name right. I hope I didn't. I know the last name is Britton. So we're going to be doing that game as well. That's another Designer Signature Edition, a new flavor. Third World War series from GDW, right?
That one's everyone's.
So all the maps are done. The counters have gone through about 3 months of proofing. So one thing that's a challenge is when you do a new edition, you have to match up perfectly the original. So you're going hex by hex on the map. The counters, you have to match all that up, plus the changes, and we added color coding, and we've enhanced it. There's about 200 additional new markers in the game to help the game from a bookkeeping, to make it easier to play. So our project team spent maybe 2 to 3 months just proofing counter sheets. There's 8 counter sheets.
That's a lot of count sheets.
So you can see the projects. This on the designer signature edition side. I've just listed maybe 5 titles. 6. So there's a lot of work going in there. Some Third World War series I think everybody's really waiting for, and that's going to be a great release. Frank Chadwick's involved too, helping consult on that. And again, we're not messing with the design. We're honoring the design, and then we'll do Manchurian Front, which is a new design which some people did on their own, independent of Frank, but it's based on the Third World War series on the Manchurian Front. Yeah. So and then there's new titles. Fleet, the Fleet series will be coming back from Joe Bukowski. So Fifth Fleet, I think we're looking at Fifth Fleet as the first title. We're going to do each one separate. So Fifth Fleet is first. I'm just going through my head. There's so many different projects.
Well,
I'm not gonna remember them all, but I'll do updates. We can maybe do updates, and I'll do them on Compass as well.
Well, with all these projects coming up, there's another good question, because I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and there's a lot of uncertainty too. I'm sure there is for publishers as well. But give me your take on it as much as you can. Everything going on with the coronavirus now.
Sure.
That's kind of really set the economy into a tizzy everywhere, and there's kind of conflicting word out of China. What do you know as far as how is that affecting Compass products right now?
Right. So from a Compass perspective, there has been a slowdown, which I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. It hasn't really impacted us though, because it's not so much a production slowdown as far as what's there in China. Yeah. So we're actually shielded by the fact that we've got stuff to submit. Like we have to get stuff to China, which hasn't happened yet. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, there might be a delay based on that, but where we're fortunate is we don't have stuff that's not finished yet in China. Yeah. We've got stuff back from China already. There might be one exception. I know we have the big Stellar Horizons game. Yeah. So, that's obviously being published in China. And again, I don't have all the details. That was a Kickstarter one. Right, that's a Kickstarter. I don't have all the details on that, but I'm just guessing that those files could have been sent to China some time ago. It could be done already, even sitting there, or we're almost getting ready to wrap up some of the other components. But
you're not seeing any direct slowdowns or production halts?
We're sort of immune from that just because of where the games are in the project cycle. We have a bunch of stuff that got wrapped up just before the virus hit. Yeah. So we've got a lot of games coming out now. The most recent, which shipped, I think, last week, was John Butterfield's
Bulge game?
Yeah, Bulge game, Battle of the Bulge. So it's World War II. It's a new series called World War II Commander, and it's those are the games that were on the iPad under Shenandoah Studios, right? Yeah. So we've got that, and then the next one will probably be a new game title based on that game system, which will be on Market Garden. Oh, okay, good. So that's going to be a brand new design, and then there's still 2 other designs that we're going to get to that were already put on the iPad. Mark Herman did a game, North El Alamein, and then I think it was Roads. I want to say it's called Roads to Moscow. I'm probably going to get that wrong, but Ted Rasier did also an app version game for Shenandoah. So what's interesting though about this, it's not taking the app and converting it to a board game. What really happened was for John Butterfield, Ardennes was the first game released. It started as a tabletop board game. Oh, really? And then it got retrofitted to the iPad.
Then it was digital.
So then it got ported.
Back to its,
so now it's back. So now we're back full circle. Right.
That's pretty cool.
But that's going to be, that's going to be a great player game. I think I'd love to see it at WBC as a tournament game, because it's just the perfect 2-player game, plays very quickly. And so we've got games like that coming from China. We've got stuff that's just come back from China. So we dodged the bullet, so to speak, there.
Yeah, well, that's good, because you keep hearing all these things, not just in board games, but the economy around the world, how it's being affected. So board gamers, we're concerned about when our board gamers are going to come in, so that's why I wanted to ask that question. Now
let me add, I should add one thing just to clarify, and that is it's just the one-mapper games that get done in China. So everything else we still print in the US. Oh, okay. So we do have a really big pipeline. So the games I was telling you about, the designer signature editions, because they're all bigger games, more than one map, those are all printed stateside. Okay. So the only exception that might happen there is if there's any game cards that go with a game, we'll get those in China. Okay. And then we'll bring just the cards back over. But that's just a minor component. But the one mappers, like the ones you'll see on Kickstarter, are typically all going to be mounted maps, deluxe, rounded, the very nice counter forms. So 75-80% of our manufacturing is US based.
Okay, great. So, well, that's great. Yeah. Support products made in the USA. I like that.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
So anything else you wanted to share with anybody before we switch gears?
Well, thanks for being here, and
Yeah.
thanks for the local support
Yeah,
for the
appreciate
Expo
it.
Dallas. So I think with your support, I don't do any marketing, of course. So it's always word of mouth. So, which is probably good because it means I can't piss anybody off.
Yeah, well, that is
If
good.
I piss you off or any of the attendees off, then it hurts.
It's one thing, yeah.
Then it hurts, and then if I do donations, maybe I don't get donations, and it's harder to do. It's harder to do Consimworld without support. But no, I just want to really just thank everybody for supporting the hobby. I'll just probably add one thing, and that is every year when I do the main expo event in Tempe, it just happens. Every year we say goodbye to at least 1 to 2 attendees who have passed away. Yeah. So we're sort of in the demographic now. So like I told people here during the welcome reception, please take this opportunity if you can. Try to make any convention and just really get away from the real world, whatever real world stresses you have.
Yeah.
Put
them away for a couple
your
days.
corporate job, your family, you're upset at a family member, whatever it happens to be. Just try to be a kid again.
Sure.
For 2 or 3 days, because we never know when we get another chance. You know, we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no,
so.
very true. Rediscover the joy of
Exactly.
playing these awesome games that we get to enjoy.
And the enjoyment never stops.
No,
that's
that's
why
true.
I keep doing it.
Exactly. Well, John, I really appreciate you
thank
taking
you.
the time, and again, really appreciate you going out and put the extra effort out to come out with the CSW Dallas. It's a fantastic convention. If you didn't come this year, you missed out. Make sure you come next year. And if you don't go to the Tempe event, make sure you go to the Tempe event. If you go to Tempe, come here. Go to both. Do it all. Like John said, have fun as much as you can. But John, really appreciate
Thank you so
taking the
much.
time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thanks so much. Thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for
I'll
watching.
see you guys next time.
Bye bye.